Hello everybody up in the United States, coming to you from the Ovation of the Seas, and we're down between Australia and New Zealand on the Tasman Sea. And let me tell you, we're having a wild bucking bronco of a ride for the last 12, 14, 16 hours. They had expected some bad weather conditions, and of course this is our fourth trip down under on ships. So every time we go through the Tasman, it's always quite active. But this has been probably the worst stretch we've ever seen. And we figured out we've been on ships for 3,000 days altogether during a 9-year career, plus the cruising we did before. And my cameraman is falling all over the place because it's really hard to even stand still. And it's not like you don't see merchandise flying every place, but you see the people walking quite in a funny fashion, leaning here and there, walking almost at a 15-20 degree lilt. But we're going to show you some of the action that's going on outside our porthole, which has been closed most of the time. We opened it up just to see how bad it was and just to give you a glimpse of what we're experiencing here. So this may be cause brain damage to people who don't like to see tragedy in as it's coming off, but no, it's not really that bad. But it's quite something to see. So I'm going to let Ann get over here and shoot out the window, and I'll explain a little bit more. Mostly in the Tasman, what we experience is not so much the high waves, but the troughs, the swells and everything. And you'll notice how the water will rise up, and they're saying that we're in 10 to 12 meter seas, which is 35 to 40 feet. What we don't have right now is the waves crashing against our window, which is the only reason we have the porthole open. That's supposed to come a little bit later today with the higher winds. So the conditions aren't that bad out there. Just keep that in mind as you watch these huge waves. If my good friend and fellow musician Randy Lodds is watching, he's always advising me to watch out for the rogue wave. Well, they are out there today, but pretty much manageable. It's pretty natural for this part of the world, down around the south of Cape Horn. Over in Africa, actually, and this is actually the south of the Australian continent that we're dealing with here. This is these seas, and they're just coming into their springtime. Springtime has sprung pretty much in Australia. So if you can imagine the weather conditions in the U.S. in the spring always take a kind of turn for the worse. But these seas are very, very active, and like I say, we've never seen it last this long. It started last night, probably before we went to bed. It started getting a bit dodgy out there, but and it continued all night. And it's if any of you are familiar with being out in a boat on a lake at all, it's like being in about a 14-foot sailboat and being in 6-foot waves. You know, it's just a constant rolling motion. And like I say, we're not feeling any really ill effects from it. And I'd say a lot of the people aren't. Even the upper decks are still open. There are a couple people daring to swim up in the hot tubs. The pools are all closed, but it's quite something to see. And look at this. Look at how high this comes up. And like I say, our porthole is probably, I'd say, 12 to 15 feet above water level when we're sitting still. And so some of these swells are coming up well above our porthole. So and like I say, and then once the waves start, it even hits up higher. So but it's just kind of crazy to watch. It's and certainly on the ship, the lower decks are less affected than the upper ones. So up on, you know, the windjammer area, the buffet and the pool area and everything like that, the people up in those areas are really getting a ride here today. It's a lot more noticeable. It's a lot harder to walk up there than it is down here. But like I say, sometimes you can just look out, you see nothing but sky when you're at the top of one of those swells, and then when you're down the trough, you look out, you see nothing but water. So it keeps life interesting. And I don't know why the captain decided to share with everybody that the sea conditions and weather conditions were going to deteriorate, because people who are on their first cruise might not take that so well. But the good news is, like I say, it's 4 o'clock our time right now, and which makes it East Coast of U.S. time right about around 10, I believe, 10 p.m. But of course, you got to keep in mind we're already in Tuesday, and you guys are just still watching Monday Night Football. So I know what the end of the game looks like. So stay tuned, because we do live in the future. But anyhow, like I say, in about 15 hours, we'll be nearing the coast of the South Island of New Zealand. And that's when things will level off a bit, especially once we get into the sounds. We'll be doing Dusky Sound, Doubtful Sound, Milford Sound tomorrow. And we'll have some live broadcast from there, and it's just gorgeous. It's it's just these little waterways that come in among the mountains, and they just jut straight upwards. So it's really quite a sight to see. It'll be chilly there, probably in the high 40s, even with sunshine. But we'll spend the day doing the sounds tomorrow, and then we go around the south to the south of the South Island, come around to Dunedin for what will be our Thursday, and then we'll be in Wellington on Friday in New Zealand. So lottery numbers, Barb, tomorrow 249762. So put 10,000 on that for me, would you?
Just kidding, Barb.
But, anyhow, but yeah, it's quite a ride out here. And any of you who've done some international cruises and everything, there's some of the areas of the Mediterranean up into the Nordic. Some of these conditions are pretty common, and like I say, our ship is very seaworthy, stable. There's no real worry about that. The captain was out drinking late last night, so I think his hangover's over about now. He's okay. No, they don't drink.
No, not at all.
No, zero. But it's, like I say, for the first timer who would not know what they're looking at, it's amazing to watch. So anyhow, stay tuned. Like I say, hopefully our weather conditions will improve, and we'll be broadcasting from the sounds, which one of the questions is always asked in the captain's corner: why are they referred to as sounds in the southern hemisphere, and they're fjords up in the Nordic and the upper Atlantic Ocean? But it's just, they have different names for everything down here, so it's not uncommon. Look at that. That's surfing weather right there. So anyhow, I hope you've enjoyed our little view out our porthole. And like I say, here comes a nice big wave. I'm getting ready to close this porthole up before Mother Nature comes knocking here. So anyhow, hope everybody's well back at home and out wherever you might be. And we'll be back with you hopefully tomorrow from the fjords. Oh, here comes the water.
Thanks for watching.